So I only recently watched the film Abigail, a horror comedy film that came out earlier this year. A film that I was very excited to watch when I saw the trailers for it and completely forgot it even released and completely forgot to go and catch it when I did realise that it was out in cinemas. This year has been an extremely stressful one for me as I've had a lot of personal issues going on. So I have missed on a lot of films theatrically. However, I did manage to catch it literally I think it was 2 days ago now, and the wait was so worth it. This film is good old horror fun. Like, this is good fun horror. Abigail truly is a return to good horror fun, and I couldn't be happier about that. The film follows a group of people who have agreed to kidnap a little girl for the ransom money of her rich father that would set them all up for life. Revealed over the film, each of them has their own tragic backstory and reason for being there. Everything is going according to plan until they discover that the little girl they have kidnapped is actually a bloodthirsty vampire who not only enjoys killing but also loves to play with her food, the food in this case being them. The film mostly does what you are actually predicting, based on the description alone. However, it does have an enduring and fun way of doing every cliche and everything throughout, with actual some twists and turns around some of the corners, especially the entire ending climax, really solidifying this and making it stand out against all of the rest. The whole ending of this film was just chef's kiss perfection. But before we talk about the ending, we really need to talk about the performances, which were crushed by every single actor in this movie, taking the most, in some cases, the most generic, basic, dumb, strong, cliche type character and turning them into something enduring for us to watch. My mind goes to Pete, played by Kevin Durand. He was fantastic in this film, and he was probably the biggest source of humour in this film. He was hilarious. He really did kill it in this film. I loved his relationship with Catherine Newton as Sammy. Them two together, their chemistry was so good. But one of the absolute standouts among an already, fantastic cast was Alicia Weir as Abigail herself. She crushed it, and she's one of the best child actresses I have seen in a movie in such a long time. She was so good. Could not take my eyes off the screen while she was killing people. Honestly, born for this role. She brought not only the terrifying horror side of the vampire, but also the comedic side of a vampire who loves to play with their food, who loves to tease them and wind them up, and is very sarcastic. It's just a lot of great fun, really. Most horror films lately have to be either these big, psychological deep dives, taking themselves super seriously. And don't get me wrong, those can be great, but it seems like more and more are doing it nowadays. And it's either we get, the super serious ones, or we get the super dumb slasher films, gore fests. This is perfectly in the middle. This takes itself seriously and takes time to develop all of its main characters, while also having fun with the source material, that being just, vampires in general. It has fun with being a vampire film, being a horror film, has some really good comedy actually. I was actually laughing quite a lot in this film. I did not think I would be, but the jokes do land. Or everyone has great chemistry, a really well performed, well acted, and, a really well shot film as well. This looks great. Some of the scenes are, really immersive. They really do suck you into the experience. And it really is a film that you can, grit your teeth into, no pun intended. It's been a long time since I've sat down and watched a horror and just had this much fun with it. Usually I come out of it with like, yeah, that was okay, but I didn't like this, and this, or that was bad, but I did enjoy, one, two, three things. But no, this horror film I came out and I had no problems whatsoever. I enjoyed the story, which was very simple and very basic, however, had so much fun with it, like I've said, that you couldn't help but just enjoy it. It was a really good, kind of an old style horror, not old as in the 80s or the 60s, but kind of reminded me of the early to mid 2000s films where the horror took itself seriously but also had fun with being a horror. And that it's probably the perfect film to watch this Halloween season. I watched it with my brothers and they loved it as well. They're not even horror fans, but they did have a really good time with it. I also noticed in this film there are quite a lot of practical effects which really do go a long way in a day and age where everything is a CGI mess. Practical effects, practical blood, practical limbs being ripped off, they do go a long way, and your brain really does detect that it's real and it's tangible and it's on the screen. It goes such a long way into making the film feel just a lot more realistic, and really does help you immerse yourself fully into this world. Obviously, like any other film, there are some like minor nitpicks I could say here and there. Some, sometimes the cliches are a bit abundant and a bit overused. However, I still believe they are used to a good effect. I don't believe a cliche is in itself bad. I think it's the way it's executed, and this film does execute them perfectly. But if I was going to nitpick, I would probably say that, and I would say, the ending's a bit cliche for a horror film. Kind of know what's going to happen. And when I say ending, I mean like the last like 5 seconds to 2 minutes. That's the cliche bit, because the rest of the climax I did not see coming. Any of it, I really did not see certain events happening the way they did. And I know this film is a bit old now, but I'm not going to spoil it. I do highly recommend that everybody goes out and checks this film. It's fantastic. Again, strong cast, strong writing, strong atmosphere, strong horror, strong comedy, everything you want out of a film like this. And I give this film a solid 5 out of 5. It is a perfect film and a true return to good fun horror.